Good morning and welcome back to my channel. I'm Grace on tour and I love to showcase the beautiful world that we live in. And in this video we will be heading to Georgia. But before we head out there, remember to like this video and subscribe. There are new travel videos every week and I really appreciate your support. But for now, let's head out there.
She's putting all of her cards down on the table, knowing there's no way that you'll be able to win this one. But she's somebody else in the making. First, she just gotta stop all the faking, and she'll be there.
We have now made it to München, where we have a 7-hour stopover before our flight to Tbilisi, Georgia. So yeah, and the airport is quite empty, as you can see.
Willkommen auf dem Flughafen von Tbilisi, liebe Gäste.
But she's wondering if it's gonna feel like she's forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like she's whenever she leaves her safe space. She leaves her safe space. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that will make her feel better? Make her feel better. Then that's where she'll go.
And we have made it to Georgia, my 82nd country, and after we arrived in Tbilisi, we got the rent-a-car and started driving up in the mountains for about 2.5 hours, and we are right now approaching a ski resort area called Gudauri. And it's currently also -15 outside, so it's very cold, but yeah, we're seeing the sunrise because we landed at 5 a.m. And now it's about 8:30, so yeah, we've seen the sunrise over the mountains, which was really beautiful. And now we're on a very, very windy road up the mountain. So I'll catch up with you when we reach Gudauri.
Then that's where she'll go. That's where she'll.
We have now made it to our hotel here in Gudauri, and very thankfully we were able to check in early and have some rest. And yeah, we have a lovely view over the snow-covered mountains and the little village. And now we're changed into skiing gear, and before hitting the slopes I'm just fueling noodles and coffee because yeah, we have not slept for 2 days, so very well needed. Okay, so we have now made it to the ski resort and we rented skis, and renting the whole equipment for just one day was around 70 Georgian lira or Georgian currency. So that was very, very cheap. And then also the lift pass, or the ski lift pass, was also very affordable. So yeah, that's really the benefit of coming here to ski. So now we're actually going to take the gondola up the mountain to see the view and start skiing down. So let's head up the mountain.
I don't need no one to say you're complicated, 'cause I knew from the start this might be overrated.
We have now taken the gondola ride up to the top, and here you can find lots of kind of small food stalls, and also you have the black and red slopes, which are another lift up. But yeah, then we're going to try to get down the mountain. So wish me luck.
It's so typical, you wanna give it one more try, even though if your mind is telling you it's all a lie. Oh, I gotta wake
you can ski like this, where it's not too steep, and yeah, you can really enjoy. That's when I love skiing at the most. So really nice. And then you can see up in the air there the paragliders. That's also one of the famous things that you can do in Gudauri, both summer and winter, is to go paragliding from the top of the mountain. Good morning, it is the next day, and we have woken up to the sunrise here over the snow-covered mountains in Gudauri, and we've been staying at a place called Hotel Truso, which I can highly recommend. Now we are going to start driving to the middle of the country towards the coast. So yeah, let's get in the car and start driving. We have now made it down the mountains, and as you can see, all of the snow has disappeared and it almost looks like spring outside. So yeah, big change in climate. We have now made it to a town called Gori, and when driving past here we actually noticed or found out that this is the birth town or birthplace of the former Soviet leader Joseph Stalin, and they have actually preserved his birthplace and old house, and they've preserved it in its original structure. And I did not know that he was from Georgia, so that is also new information for me. But now we're continuing our drive, and also Gori seems to be a really nice town as well. So yeah. We have now made it to a place called Uplistsikhe, which is a old cave town from the Iron Ages. And because of this town being built inside of the cave, it has been very well preserved. So yeah, we're going to be checking it out, and the entrance fee is for the full access 20 Georgian. So yeah, and we're now about to hike up to the town.
Saw you paint a picture of a face, a face that wasn't even close to mine.
So here behind me you can see the caves, and they have also named the rooms into what they think that they were used for. So for example, here we have the theater, and then also they had like a pharmacy, which we'll be checking out. And as you can see behind me, they definitely had an amazing view over the landscape and the hills. We've now made it to the Queen Tamar's Hall, and if we just come inside, we can see that even back in their time they paid great attention to detail. So even the roofs here are carved out. And then also to the left side here, it's supposed to be their wine cellar. Another thing that Georgia is very famous for is their wine. Okay, we have now made it back to the city of Gori, and we are trying some, and we are having lunch, and I'm trying a traditional Georgian dish called, I will insert the name here, but it is essentially a bean stew with bread on the top, which looks like this. Yeah, we have the bread here, and then we have the bean stew. So let's test it out. And then Dad has ordered another Georgian dish, which is called Chiatura, which is kind of a bread boat filled with cheese, and then on top you have an egg. So yeah, this is another traditional dish. We are now driving towards the next spot, and on this way we are seeing the remnants of an old Soviet mining town, we believe it is. And yeah, it's just many abandoned factory buildings, and yeah, quite a spooky place, but interesting to see how it's been left.
Even though you wouldn't do the same, had this conversation more than 10 times.
So we have now driven through the town of Chiatura, and that was the old mining village where they mined and still mine today manganese. And now we have stopped off at the Kutaisi pillar, and the road to get there is not great, so we've had to stop at a distance, and hopefully you could see some glimpses of it through the drone footage. But essentially it's a church slash monastery on top of a stone pillar, and yeah, really unique. Also kind of fun to note is that in Kutaisi they have a cable car system which used to transport the workers to and from the mines, and they have now installed new cable cars, so you can also test them out, I think. So yeah, now we're going to be driving towards the town where we will be staying for tonight. Here we have the main road to Kutaisi from the pillar, and yes, not great conditions. You can see here, this yellow pipe is actually gas that is being transported to the local villages for them to be able to heat their houses, get warm water and cook. And at first we didn't really know what they were, but now after some research we've come to the conclusion that they're gas pipes.